Dear students, today we are going to discuss simple permanent tissues and its types. Now, what are simple permanent tissues? As we have already discussed in in previous lecture, that simple permanent tissues are basically those permanent tissues which are made up of only one type of cell. They have only one type of cells, and the cells that make up the simple permanent tissues, they have same structure or similar structure and generally have same origin, and they perform a particular function. Now these simple permanent tissues, they are classified into three groups, three categories: parenchyma, colonchyma, and sclerenchyma. Basically, we had already discussed the simple permanent tissue in our previous lecture, where we studied that they are made up of same type of cells, and then they have similar structure and perform a particular function, and then they may also have similar or same origin. Now, what are the types? There are three types of simple permanent tissues. First is the parenchyma, second is colonchyma, and third is sclerenchyma. These are the three types of simple permanent tissues. Now, first one is parenchyma. The cells of this tissue are living. You have to remember this. First point is that the cells of parenchymatous tissue or parenchyma tissue are living. They have thin cell walls. The cell walls are very thin. Cells can be oval or round in shape. They have large central vacuole and dense cytoplasm. The parenchyma tissue is located in the soft parts of the plant, such as cortex and pith. It mainly acts as a packing tissue, providing mechanical support. It also helps in the storage of food. Based on specific functions, parenchymatous tissues may be further divided into parenchyma and colonchyma. So let's try to understand this. This is a typical parent structure of a parenchymatous tissue, and here you will see that these cells, they are living, and then they have very thin cell walls. Here you can see this is the original slide of a parenchymatous tissue. The cell walls are very thin, you can see, and between the cells you can see there are intercellular spaces. The vacuoles are very large. The vacuoles in case of parenchymatous tissues, they are very large. Here you can see, and this vacuole, it pushes the cell nucleus of the cell to one side. Here you can see the nucleus of the cells is pushed to one side because of the presence of a large central vacuole. And these cells, they perform different functions. They may have mechanical role, but mainly the mechanical support is provided by other types of tissues. They rarely have mechanical support, but they are known used as a packaging tissue, and they help in the storage of food in case of plants. And then they may also perform different functions. For example, in some plants, mainly in case of hydrophytes, they store gases, and they provide buoyancy to the plant, and as such they are known as parenchyma. And in some in leaf tissues, the mesophyll cells, they are parenchymatous cells, but they store chlorophyll. They have chloroplasts. They perform photosynthesis, and when parenchymatous cells, they perform photosynthesis, they are known as chlorinchyma. So two important properties that you have to remember of parenchymatous cells is that they are living, and they have very thin cell walls. The cells may be oval or round in shape, and based on their function, they may be divided into parenchyma and colonchyma. Now, second type of tissue is the colonchyma. Now, these are also living and have elongated shape. In case of parenchymatous cells, we saw that they may be polygonal or they may be oval or round in shape. Now, these cells, they are living, but they have elongated shape. First, the corners of the cell walls are thickened. This is very important. If you see the parenchymatous cells, here you have both the tissues. This tissue is the Colonchyma, and these cells, they are the parenchyma cells. Now here you can see no intercellular spaces. These corners, they are fixed. They are the cell wall is much thicker than the uh, parenchyma cells, and here you do not have intercellular spaces. If present, it's very small, but you will have large intercellular spaces in case of the parenchyma cells. And these cells, they have the mechanical function. They provide mechanical support. They will be present in leaf stalks, and or they may just be present below the epidermis in stem or in other plant parts, providing mechanical support. And here you can see this cell wall in case of the uh, colon chimate cells. It is much thicker than the parenchyma cells, and nucleus, as in case of the parenchyma cells, is pushed towards the one side due to the presence of the large vacuole. And the intercellular spaces, they are not present, and if present, they are very small as compared to the parenchyma cells, and they provide mechanical support to the plants. Generally they are present just below the epidermis in leaf stalks, in leaves, in stem, and they provide the mechanical support. Then third type of tissue is the sclerenchyma. Here you have to remember the Sclerenchyma tissue differs from the parenchymates and collenchymates tissue, that in that they are dead, while as the other two that we discussed previously are living. The cell wall is very thick. You will see here the cell wall is very thick. This is the typical structure of the sclerenchyma tissue. So you'll see cell wall is very thick here. This is the patch of the sclerenchymates tissue. Here you can see all three types of cell. This is the parenchymates cell. Here you can see a sclerenchymates cell, and this is the this one is the collenchymates cell, and this one is the sclerenchymates cell. So all the three types: parenchymates, Colonchyma, and this is the Sclerenchyma. So all the three types of the cells are present in the same slide. And here you have to remember that Sclerenchyma cells, they have thick cell wall, very thick cell wall, and they are dead, while as the other two parenchymates and the collenchymates tissue, they are living. The cell wall is very thick due to the deposition of lignin, and you will see there is deposition of lignin, and you will not find any intercellular spaces. And they are generally located in the leaf veins, hard covering of the seeds. For example, you see nuts, the covering of the walnut, the covering of the almond. It's all this sclerenchymates tissue. They are very hard. The main function of the sclerenchymatic tissue is to provide rigidity and mechanical support to the plant body. They also make the plant stiff and hard. So generally they have the role, or they provide the mechanical support to the plant. They do not perform other functions. They, in some cases, they do perform some. There are some certain chimates tissues that perform other functions, but generally they have provide the mechanical support. They provide mechanical support, while as collenchyma and parenchymates, they have many functions, and they can be divided into different types based on the function they perform. But here you will see they have a thick cell wall. They do not have any organelles generally, and you will not find any organelles because they are dead, and they are just the goose. They are just the out. They are just it's a thick cell wall. Then internally you have the space which does not contain any organelles. They are dead. So we have parenchyma cells. They are living. They are oval in shape. Here is the parenchyma cell, and here you have large intercellular spaces. The vacuole is large, and the nucleus is pushed towards one side. And here you have sclerenchyma cells. You will see this. Here, the intercellular species are absent, or if present, they are very small, and then they have a new vacuole and nucleus is pushed towards one side. But this sclerenchymates tissue, this sclerenchymates patch here, the cell walls are very thick. The internal organelles, the cellular organelles, they are all absent, and then they are dead. So these are the three types of simple permanent tissues that we have discussed today. Thank you very much.